Hello and welcome to the Super Important Show. I am one of your hosts, Destiny Adato. That is my name right there in the wherever it is. And I've got two amazing people with me to do this amazing show. So let's get right into it. First off, the always wonderful Heather Jules Booth. Heather Jules Booth, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. You have a very specific color background.
I do. My green screen. I also just realized that I did not intend to pick something that has bits of green in it. So I look like,
yeah. And our special
color matching even when I'm not.
And our special guest for the evening, the hilarious, wonderful Naomi Pitt. How are you?
Hello. Oh my gosh, what an honor. What a lovely opportunity to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for doing it. While we got the camera on you, tell people a little about who you are. What do you do? What's going on? What makes Naomi?
Wow, truly where to even begin. Yes, well, I am Naomi and I am a actor, comedian, musician based in New York. Amateur beatboxer. I'm currently writing a musical about cheese. I have for 3 years.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Hopefully that'll make its debut eventually. And I'm just, so thrilled to be here with my great friends.
Oh, awesome. We are thrilled to have you. Let's get right into it. Heather, do you want to introduce our first segment?
Oh, of course I do. What show would it be if we didn't go into a little World You Crazy?
Exactly.
So we're going to bring you an adventure from everyone's favorite place to have adventures, the airport, where a drunken woman on a motorized suitcase led police through an Orlando airport. So an intoxicated passenger was boarding an airplane in Orlando. And they denied her access to get on the plane because they said that this passenger had, let me see the list, the exact way they phrased this. They said glassy eyes, inability to stand up straight, and the odor of alcohol were reasons for them to suspect that she was perhaps too intoxicated to fly. They confronted her and she said, "I'm just trying to go home and enjoy myself." And she told them that she had 2 drinks before her flight. At which point they asked her to they were like, "Please go ahead. Just please take time, sober up a little." No one was angry. They were just like, "Hey, go sober up a little bit." And I will say, I forgot the detail that she was in fact returning home to New York City. And speaking as somebody from New York City, I believe that she had an appropriately New York response, maybe not appropriately New York, an expected New York response, which is that she flipped out on them. She started cursing. She started just a slew of curses at everyone, saying F you, I'm getting on the flight, this, that. And then she tried to get away and they started following her on so she's on a motorized suitcase, which I did not know until today that this was a thing. Apparently it is. It's like a little suitcase with wheels and I guess it can move.
Right. I've been walking around the airport like a chump, not knowing that I could be driving around the airport.
Think about it. We could be riding motorized suitcases to work. Because if you think about how some people use suitcases instead of a purse because they have so much stuff, or a luggage bag, just ride a motorized suitcase. I feel like I want to try that. But it's the airport cop who is chasing her has a hilarious series of comments, including things like, "Oh, wow, that goes kind of fast," because the suitcase was outrunning him.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was outrunning him. And then he was making jokes about, I'm a bike chasing a suitcase. It was very weird. He said to her at one point, "Follow me, we'll roll out together." This person was clearly trying to be, Dustin and I were talking about this beforehand, trying to be patient with definitely an intoxicated, ornery person. And as I said, I forgot that it was an ornery, intoxicated New Yorker. So that just adds a layer. Because at first I was like, "Oh, this is a very Florida." I just know there's a stereotype about Florida, and I'm like, it's a very Florida thing. But now I'm like, oh, this is a very New York thing. I think apparently she did get physical with them, at which point they did wind up having to arrest her. And I think she was later released. So she was not held. She's fine, presumably. But yeah, too drunk.
Yeah.
Riding a motorized suitcase, cussing at people.
Yeah.
Living the New York rage dream.
I appreciate Julia's comment in the chat. Paul Blart Airport Cop.
Paul Blart Airport Cop. Yes. and I felt like this was exactly the kind of, like, it was definitely an airport cop that we were dealing with. It was like, all right, I'm gonna go get on my bike, which we were talking about beforehand. Dustin was like, I had no idea that there were like bikes that they would ride around an airport. Nor did I.
Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about the suitcase that it was going faster. Like, I know this is not what it is, and I don't know the proper name, but if you've ever seen like the Barbie cars that they used to sell to kids,
the ones for like kid-sized kids.
Yes, exactly.
Kid-sized kids, as opposed to adult-sized kids.
Yeah, a kid-sized kid. That's like what I thought it was going to go at, that type of speed. I don't even know if those are even motorized or if it's the kid just like pedaling with their feet. But that's what I was picturing. But I guess it's fast.
I had the Chips motorcycle one when I was a little kid, and it was so much slower than walking. It was like it barely moved. I think they've gotten much better at the technology, but they also need to keep it safe so the kid doesn't like, oops, I'm already in the road, like, kind of thing.
I guess similarly, like, they have to keep these suitcases can go fast, but they also like can't, they can't go so fast that the person gets injured, or like, I guess they run people down in the airport or something.
Are you guys like people who bring a lot of things to the airport? Like, because I'm the like neck pillow, eye mask, earplugs. Like, I have a butt pillow that I sit on because if I sit in the seat too long, like the little butt bone will like grind into the chair. So like, I have like a suitcase just of stuff that I'm flying with. I've never thought about driving to the airport in that, but I guess now I know that that's a thing. So
now cool. It's an option,
right?
I would be so paranoid. Because I do pack very heavily. I mean, that is a trait I get from my mom, who has stayed with me for a day, and she'll pack like 5 suitcases. That's not an exaggeration. It's just like, be prepared for every situation. And so I'm like, I have my laptop and just like a bunch of breakable things. I would be nervous about that. So I don't know. Maybe the suitcase isn't for me, but it does sound fun to ride around.
But sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just think it'd be fun to ride around an airport on a motorized suitcase. Yeah.
Especially if you're very drunk. Then it's even that much more much more appealing.
True. I will also say, I mean, I guess I did know that they can't let you on an airplane if you're too intoxicated, but I didn't realize that like they were really strict about it. I know it sounds crazy, but
I mean, don't you think that like it helped that she was riding luggage? Like,
probably.
She could have probably like maintained and gotten on the plane, but the fact that she was like zooming around the airport on luggage, people were probably like, that's like too drunk.
Yeah. Glassy eyes, smell of alcohol.
Well, I was trying to figure out, this makes sense. You said like the odor of alcohol, I think. Mm-hmm. I heard the owner of alcohol, and I was like, that's such an interesting way to put that.
Yeah, she was the owner of alcohol. She showed up and she was like, here's my ticket, alcohol, that's my name.
I mean, that's what it's like if you come to our apartment. We have the bar straight when you walk in the door.
True.
It's clear that Joy is the owner of alcohol. So, do we want to move on to story number 2?
I think so.
All right.
I am ready. Let me pull up. I love taking notes. I always have to pull up my notes. Yes. So this story, speaking of the odor, a good segue.
Awesome segue.
There is a plant-based pet food company. Omni, I believe, is the pronunciation. So sorry to this company if I'm saying it wrong. This plant-based pet food company is offering $6,000 to dog owners who are willing to switch their canine's diet for 2 months, or 1 to 2 months approximately, and to furthermore report on the scent of their canine's feces. This is essentially to test the impact of a plant-based diet and how that affects their dog's digestion and general health. They're additionally asking the owners to report on things such as frequency of bowel movements, energy levels, sleeping patterns, things like that. I will say they are taking applications until March 31st. If anyone's interested, you do have to be 18 years or older to enter. And in addition,
could you imagine kids entering this?
I'm sure some will. And you do apparently get a supply of toys and treats as a thank you if you do successfully complete the 2 months. I don't know if this is a lifetime supply or like how long.
Complete the 2 months.
Yeah. They were very strict. It was like only if you are successful doing this.
Wow.
I constantly go back and forth between like who would do this and who wouldn't do this. Because it's $6,000. Like it's a lot of money for just and really I feel like you could lie. Like I feel like like
oh, that's true.
You could just sort of like you could get like you can extrapolate. You're like, I will smell the dog's feces once a week and just sort of assume that the Monday and the Saturday are like going to be similar. And I will just figure out that like Wednesday probably was like Monday and Saturday. So like for $6,000, I will smell a dog's poop and write down how frequently they went to the bathroom, like a few times. Like that just seems like super easy to cheat on.
That's true. I didn't think about the cheating aspect, but that's so true. And
yeah, who's also testing next to you? Like it's not like a representative is sitting there with you being like. Also, everyone's sense of smell is different. There's a lot of questions this brings up.
There's a lot of questions. Because I do understand also someone would do it, like you care about your dog. You want to see how is this diet affecting them. I'm willing to report on these things. So it's not like the craziest thing I've ever thought of. But I am, I guess, curious to know more about like plant-based diet. I was looking through the website too, and there were a lot of FAQs on like, is this like certain vitamins and stuff? And
I was literally sitting here Googling this as we're doing this story because I'm like, so I don't know dogs as well as I know cats, but I know cats are like, they're obligate carnivores. You cannot feed them plant-based diets. You can't feed them vegan diets. Like they will die. Dumb people have tried because they're like, listen, I'm a vegetarian. So like, it's not that it's dumb. I get it when you want to be like kind to animals for whatever reason, but unfortunately, like you have to know about your pet's nutrition. So I was looking this up and I'm just like fascinated by this. I'm like, I didn't know that. I don't know if that you can.
Yeah, I would need to read through. I was a little bit, again, just the FAQs section. I'm sure there's a lot more information about it. But they were talking about like that was my calendar notification.
Is Naomi getting fan mail? No, it's fan mail, Naomi. That's what I'm believing. It's people being like, "Oh my god."
Well, I do want to say that she did get fan mail because when Naomi said she wouldn't cheat, Joy wanted to point out because she's a good person.
Naomi.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Joy. Hello.
Which is her way of saying that I'm a bad person for suggesting cheating. But
you're
point
a New
is
Yorker.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like it's a New York thing to be like, who's gonna check?
Right.
Who's really gonna check that I'm smelling these dog poop?
Exactly.
With my dog accent.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Same. I derailed you, Naomi. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I think I was just saying, like there were a lot of questions about the transition time too. Of like, are you all of a sudden doing this every day for 2 months, or do you go on and off for what is the best way to introduce this new diet? So there are like a lot of factors that I'm curious to hear more about, or how exactly this is being conducted. Have they done a lot of tests on this before, like opening this application up to the public? I imagine they would have to, but I don't know. I guess we'll see in a couple of months how this develops.
So would you do it?
Well, I don't have any pets, first of all. So I don't necessarily have reason to. I don't think I would be that keen to, but again, it's not I understand why. But I don't know. I don't know that I would be interested enough to really go for it. But what about you both?
So I I would have a lot less problems with the smelling the poop part of it than I would with the potentially putting like a pet's life at risk. Like I would be nervous about, I don't want my pets to be a guinea pig for something that could potentially harm them. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, if it was just like smell your cat's poop for 2 months on their regular diet and just like what you feed them normally and just rate it, fine. That's life.
That's like a thing you're doing anyway. Like it's a thing you do.
It's a thing you have to do anyway. Yeah. So, yeah.
And getting 6,000 out of it, slightly more than 6,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I would want to say yes, but like I would only say yes if I was cheating, because like it's in some ways like similar to Heather, where it's like not even necessarily the smelling the poop part, which I would be very not happy about, but I would do it. It's like the paperwork part of it that would throw me, of like constantly having to write shit down and pay attention like that. I'd be like, nah, fuck that noise.
That's the thing. That's the thing where you draw the line.
Yeah.
No
like
paperwork.
Where you were just like, look, I'll smell the poop. No paperwork. No.
Joy constantly jokes, and she's right. She's like, Dustin will never divorce me because he's never going to like call somebody and fill out all the paperwork necessary for it. And it's true. I would never divorce her anyway, just to be clear. But like that is a huge barrier. Like for that is that I am not fucking like calling a guy. We had somebody come in to do electric work, and it's like 2 weeks in the process now. I hate everyone and everything. So like I don't like filling out documents and shit like that. So I'm not doing it. Like also I don't have a pet.
Yes. Yeah. I hear you, which I will say, because you would take your dog to the vet, I think, before you start this and after. I don't think you could really fake that part. I think they do check to make sure you have a dog.
Yes, yeah, probably.
Oh my God! Yeah. Wait, what? Y'all, what if you lied and just you did the pooping? What if you did the pooping?
But I think
you have to go to the vet. Okay.
Yeah. I think they kind of. I guess really, if you wanted to, you could be like, "Hey, friend, like, can I borrow your dog real quick for these 2 days?" Oh
my God,
there are loopholes, I'm sure, but.
Yeah, I'm scarred by all of it.
See, it's like Dustin starts with the cheating aspect of like, what if you just lie about it? And you're just like, yeah, I smelled the poop. And I'm like, what if you substitute human poop?
Wait, so I'm like, you would.
I'm just saying we're a disturbing bunch of people.
Right, I'm just saying like that was always like, when they would say like somebody needs like a stool sample or something like that. Yeah. Like up until probably like 6 months ago, I thought you pooped in a box. Like I didn't realize that people would just like wipe and then give the toilet paper to somebody. Like I thought you like had to like poop in a box and bring it to somebody. So like that was where I think it was like, I hope that I never have to do that, because I guess I'll just die because I'm not pooping in a box and bringing it to somebody. So so I would definitely not poop in a box for $6,000 to bring it to a doctor and have to like stand there and like, anyway.
I feel like next week we have to do, it's such an old story, but there's a story about a woman who like got into a fight with her. Well, I'm just going to tell the story now. A woman who got into a fight with her significant other because he was hogging the bathroom and she pooped in the litter box. And he was like, that's disgusting. And she was like, well, you wouldn't let me use the toilet. And you said that, and it was like he was in there for like 2 hours. And she was like, that's ridiculous. She's like, I pooped in the toilet, I scooped it, I cleaned up. What's the problem? And there was like a whole fight about it. And it was really, yeah, right?
Yeah, I have not heard this story.
No.
It was on Reddit, unsurprisingly. It was on Reddit.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Anyway, that's just when you said poop in a box, Dustin, that my brain connected to that. I just thought about that.
Do we want to move on to to our third story? We'll bring in Joy's comment first. She is right. I don't do boxes or paperwork.
Dustin, you are not a cat, clearly.
I'm not. That is a fair representation of me. All right. So our third story, it's a short story. We're not going to we don't need to go too deep into it. Maybe we will. I don't know. I always say it's going to be short, and then like 25 fucking minutes later, here we are. So in New Zealand, they were having protests. People were protesting like vaccinations, which is still insane to me that that's a thing that people are protesting against. It takes you like 8 seconds. Maybe you like don't feel great for an afternoon, and then you don't die. But apparently people are super against that. So they were protesting, and they were there for a week. They were blocking traffic. They were protesting for a week. And eventually they were outside like the Capitol in Australia. And eventually they're like, we need to figure out a way to get rid of them. So they started with Barry Manilow. They blasted a bunch of Barry Manilow. That didn't work at all. So they're like, all right, let's move on to Baby Shark. That'll get him to go. It apparently like it worked better, but whatever. And eventually they moved on to James Blunt. Which song was it they do? You're Beautiful.
Of course it was.
Right.
What other song does he have?
A Bad Day. Didn't he do like?
No, that's Daniel Powter.
Oh well, as far as I'm concerned, he did. It's the same guy. It's the same guy, and I refuse.
I mean, no, you're not wrong that it's like the same idea, the same genre. Yeah. Sad white boy singing, absolutely, in like 2005, absolutely. But I literally don't. I'm sure there are James Blunt people out there who are going to be like, "How dare you not know his catalog?" But
I have not same type of thing.
I truly don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that worked. That got people out.
Yeah, eventually it did. Eventually people left. So my question to you guys,
I have questions.
You want to answer? Because my question to you guys was going to be, what song is your like? I'm leaving. I'm not doing this protest anymore. Fuck it, I'll get vaccinated. Song.
Oh my god! I don't know the name of. I don't know if my husband can hear me. Can you hear me? No, I don't think he can hear me. There is some band that he has played for me recently, and I hate the voice. I hate the person's voice so much. And every time he plays it, it's like a running gag now where he'll play it. And I'm just like, no, not these guys again. It would be that group.
So curious.
It's the group. They do the like
Scooby Doo.
No, they don't do Scooby Doo.
What?
I don't know. Wait, what genre? I don't even know.
90s?
Julia has a suggestion. Perhaps it is Crash Test Dummies. Is that the song?
Dummies?
Is that the song?
Oh, I don't know.
Julia,
I don't know, Julia.
1,000,000 points if that's correct.
It does go like that. It's like the guy sings that, and then he sings like a verse,
like that,
and then like the chorus is just him going like.
It's like once there was a. Is it like once there was a boy who blah blah blah.
That's the song. That's it.
Yeah, that's the song.
Hate. Is that Crash Test Dummies? Is that the band?
That's Crash Test Dummies. So
great. I've danced around long enough. I've wasted your time with this adventure, but that is the band. That's it.
No, and he's a brother to me. I love this person. He was in my wedding party. But my roommate, freshman year, a guy by the name of Jesse, who I would go on to become very good friends with, came to school, and he only owned one piece of music. He didn't have like a book of CDs. He didn't have like, at this time it was like you potentially had tapes. He brought one thing with him. He brought the single of that song with him to college as the only music that he felt like he was going to need to listen to for 4 years. So I am very familiar with that song in a painful kind of way. So that's your song.
Yes. That is my song. If they were like protesting and if I was so hell bent against getting vaccinated and they started playing that, I would be like, fine. Okay.
Naomi, what's yours?
Oh gosh. The first thing that came to my head, which just, I'm gonna get so much flack for this too. All-Star. Wait, was that the song?
He's singing it in the background now. I think he heard me laughing, so now he's singing it. Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, I need to look at that song after.
Go. No.
Okay. All-Star by Smash Mouth was the first thing. Just because it's like played constantly, and that there's probably a better answer like that annoys me in a different way, but I think that one, just because it's like overplayed, hearing it on a loop, I'd be out of there.
I think that's a great choice. Yeah. And it's funny because if you think about, I don't know if you feel this way, but the way I feel about that song is I used to kind of like it. Not like it, like it's like the kids today say things are a bop. I feel like before it got overplayed, I would have been like, oh, that's a bop. But now it's just so played. Like, yeah, I hear it and I'm just like, absolutely not. So yes, agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had the benefit of knowing that I was going to ask that question to you guys. So I actually found a video for my song that I don't
great.
like.
Can't wait.
I can't play the song because we'll get kicked off of we'll get kicked off of for those who don't know, like when we were on Facebook, we did a thing where we were playing a bunch of songs and like halfway through the show they just dropped our signal and we're like, oh, did everybody leave? And it was like, no, they just stopped letting us broadcast. So my song is, I think it's Eiffel 66, the song Blue. So I was looking it up to listen to it to remember how much I hated it. And it's a similar vibe to your song. So I found the video for it, which is like the most 80s, like early 90s sort of thing. And you could like see the words if it'll help you. Like this sort of has like a weird, like almost sort of funky vibe to it. And then they'll get into like the animation when they first learn how to do like animation at all. So I just want to get to that point. Like these ridiculous little guys who just
oh my god, I don't know, I love shit like
like this, like
yes, okay, wow,
like this is like half the fucking video.
This.
Yeah, you definitely know this song.
I do know this now that you I didn't know it at first though. Yeah. If you heard it, you would. I also don't think I realized that it had such nonsensical lyrics. Like, I think it's one of those things I knew the melody, and I would have thought it had more words.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. It's just basically, like, that's what drives me nuts about it, is it's just that over and over again.
Wow.
And, like, and I don't think anybody knew this song had a video. Like, I will, like,
no.
Like, Julia's saying, I didn't know this song, like, had a video. Like, nobody did. Nobody knew the song had a video, and it's good that they did, because this video is ridiculous.
It reminds me of, do you know the song "Crazy Frog" by Axel F? It plays at like, or for me, it would play at every basketball game. It's like dun 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 dun. It's a very similar vibe in terms of the video and the song.
I like that song.
Anyway, so this is my song. This song that just goes over and over and over again. Although,
so I know we're talking a lot, but I have a question, Dustin. Yeah. Did they in this story talk about at all like the demographics or the age, like the age demographics of these anti-vaxxers? Because I'm also so curious about like that they tried Barry Manilow.
I assume they were young, but they did not get into the demographics. They didn't even like show a picture of the crowd.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering that because like, you know, I don't know the different countries and like their anti-vaxxers and stuff, but I tend to think of anti-vaxxers here being like, I mean, there are young anti-vaxxers. I shouldn't assume, but my brain goes to slightly older, and I was like, Barry Manilow, that's not gonna dissuade anybody. Julie and I have worked at Barry Manilow's show. We know the Fanilows.
I
They
will
want
say,
more.
this is kind of separate. I'm so sorry if I'm taking off track.
No.
But on the subject of Barry Manilow, I don't know much about Barry Manilow, but for some reason, my family does this thing during Thanksgiving where we would write down what we're thankful for, put it in a bowl, and then take one out and try to guess who wrote it. And this is like 7 years ago at this point, thought it would be funny to write, like, I'm thankful for pie, did it like real things. And then I'd always put Barry Manilow. This is an ongoing thing for 7 years. And I always say something about Barry Manilow and no one ever guesses it's me, even though it's always me. And anyway, that's just like a fun thing where I'm going to keep doing that and see how many years it takes my family to realize.
Wait, are they going to watch this though? Because now they're going to know.
I don't know. Because my parents will forget of like when Thanksgiving rolls around. It just seems like everyone forgets. I don't know. Maybe.
You need to petition to everyone in your family to write that now, that no one will know. Throw them off. I love that you do that, though. I love that. That's right up my alley, humor-wise. That's so funny. Love it.
We got a couple of other songs from the chat. We've got. I disagree with this one, but Joy says Tom's Diner.
I don't think I know this. I can look it up later.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's the.
Okay.
I can't remember how it goes now, but it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, that song.
Okay.
Definitely, and then the Hamster Dance song is another one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So all right.
Yeah. I also agree with the original article of James Blunt like being a thing that would make me be like, ugh. Yeah.
Right, and I agree. And I agree with my assertion that James Blunt and the guy who sang "You Had a Bad Day" are the same guy. There's no.
It's the same genre.
Right.
Yeah.
You've never seen the two of them together.
That's fair.
Like when you picture them in your head, you're picturing the same person. I'm sure of it. So, anyway.
That's so funny.
That is funny.
While we've got you guys here, please take a moment if you're enjoying the show to like and subscribe and let everybody know about it, because it helps us a ton if you do that and let other people know that the show is happening. So thank you for that promotional intrusion, and now we will go back to normal everyday show. So coming up next is sort of our trivia segment, which is What the Fact, where I present a question to you guys in the chat, and you guys try and guess the right answer. So let us do that. Make sure we're on the first one. Cool. Okay, so you guys are familiar with the Snoopy comics and all that, and there was the red-haired girl who was like the love interest of Charlie Brown throughout the whole thing. But that love interest was based on an actual person. So this question is basically, what is the relationship that Charles Schultz had with the actual red-haired girl? So our choices are, it was his daughter who tried to take the business away from him when she thought he was losing it. It was his second and longest wife. They were together for 30 years. Or he proposed to her. She said no and then married someone else 2 weeks later.
Oof. Oh, wow.
One of these is true.
So I haven't seen Charlie Brown before. I don't know who this character is or the context, but I know. I'm thinking I'm going to circle back, but C is looking interesting to me.
Okay.
C is looking interesting.
I mean, Joy agrees. Joy's going with C as well.
I will also. I also am going with C, because I know it seems a little on the nose because the redheaded girl is like this little girl that he just like pines for, but I think that's like, I please don't let it be A, because that's horrifying, and B just seems like, why, I don't know. It could be B, but why would he then write the story? Oh, Julia says B. I don't know if Julia says. I feel like Julia has like intel, but I'm going to go with C.
Okay. Okay. Well, the correct answer, everybody but Julia got it. It is C. He proposed to her, and she said no, and then 2 weeks later, married someone completely different. And yet, throughout the comics, he still pines for her, and that's got to be super awkward, especially if you're the dude who married the red-haired lady.
Right.
So,
I mean, either it's awkward or you're just like, yeah,
I got it.
My redheaded girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to question number 2. Married with Children had a spinoff starring Matt LeBlanc, which I feel like nobody knows was actually a thing. I'm assuming that neither of you have watched it.
Nope.
I assume you've seen Married with Children, or Naomi, am I losing you there on this one too? Did I go with only 2 old questions?
So I haven't seen it, but I know what it is. I'm familiar. Kelly, yes.
Okay. So what was the name of the spinoff starring Matt LeBlanc? Was it Divorced with Nothing, Top of the Heap, or Al's Place?
Top of the Heap sounds familiar. I love Divorced with Nothing. I want that to be true, but I think I'm going to go with B. That just sounds familiar.
Okay.
I am with Naomi. B jumped out at me as something I feel like I've heard of. Now, whether it's because it's an actual TV show that's not this, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I'm also like, B looks familiar to me, and I agree. A is hilarious.
Okay. Yeah, if you wrote A, I need to know.
Julia's going with C.
Julie's going with C.
Okay.
Joy's going with Top of the Heap, so she's going with you again. And it turns out, similar thing to question 1, you guys are right. It is Top of the Heap.
Top of the Heap. All right.
Top of the Heap. Yes, it lasted one season. Nobody liked it. And,
who was Matt LeBlanc on it?
He was one of the main characters. He was like apparently Matt LeBlanc appeared in an early season of Married with Children, and they did like a spin-off of his character.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Which I think, yeah, I feel like nobody knew that.
No.
All right, so last one. Poor Julia, just saying that
you got this. You got this, Julia.
Yeah, we got this. You got it. Don't worry about it. Last question. This overprotective parents are called helicopter parents in the U.S. What are they called in Sweden? Do you guys want to venture a guess before I give you options, or you just want to go straight to the options?
Meatballs.
I have no idea.
It is not. So, are they called Viking parents, Stockholm parents, or curling parents?
Is Sweden known for curling?
I mean,
I don't know.
Like Nordic countries in general are known for curling. Any place that's like cold is known for curling. And like one town in the U.S.
I'm between B and C.
I'm gonna go with B. Not because okay,
just for the sake of doing something different this time.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Joy's going with curling. Just so you guys know.
I mean, it feels like we're all in agreement. We don't think it's Viking parents because I don't either.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Julia?
What does Julia think?
Julia hasn't given us an answer yet, so.
Oh no, we're waiting. We're not going to put you on this.
Right.
You're all on your own.
Okay.
So one person going with B, one person going with C.
Yeah.
In fact, the answer is C, curling parents, because they sweep away the problems that the kid has.
Me and Joy 3 for 3, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job. Parents, because they sweep away problem. That's such an interesting way to look at it too. That like that's what they do. Mm-hmm. That they like sweep. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think so too, because I think the connotation for overprotective is like overbearing more so. And so when I think sweeping away problems, I think more just protective, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I think of like, it's interesting. It's not the first way. Like I see sweeping away problems being a problem for kids, obviously, because they need to problem solve and figure their own stuff out and make mistakes. But it's not the first thing I think of when I also think of like overprotective. So, interesting, Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, I want to do a thing because I was reading an article about, the way like if we're trying to like count a second, we say like one Mississippi.
Yeah.
There's like 10 different versions of that. I'm going to save it for like a future what the fact question, but like
Please do.
But other countries say radically different things than Mississippi, because obviously why would they say like
It's comforting that it exists as other things in other countries, though.
Yeah, like
that nobody
it's a
just
bunch.
wants to try to count like 1, 2, 3. Everyone's got to have a thing. I
Right.
like that.
Right. So come back for future versions of that. Let us get into Would You Rather. Do you want to, Heather, you want to kick us off?
Oh, yes. Yes. Would you rather? So our question today, our first question, would you rather lose your wallet, your phone, or your keys? And I am going to throw this to Naomi, our guest.
I would rather lose my keys, and reason being phone. I have so much on my phone communicating with people, like that would definitely be tough for me. Not that I am on my phone constantly, but just it would be tough to lose it, I think. Wallet, like similarly, I have ID, credit cards, keys. I have been known to get through doors without having keys available. Did I once open a door with like a garden spade? Absolutely. Have I opened doors with cards and hair barrettes and
Holy
bobby pins?
shit, what?
I have. So I'll be fine. I'll be fine without my keys.
Oh my goodness.
But you just admitted that you were a spy on TV. Like you just
Well, I'll say nothing else. Yeah, no, I'm good in some emergencies. What can I say?
Okay, great. So I know that if I was my keys to call you instead of calling somebody else.
Yeah, I'll try my best for
Nice.
sure.
All right, so you're going like apologize for the graphic because I don't have 3 choices. Okay, everybody has to deal with that. Not that anybody cares. It's just me. But so you're going with keys.
I'm going keys. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so too. I'm also a vote for keys, largely because that's only one phone call. Like, if you lose your keys, you can either like find a way to get in touch with your significant other, and if like let's say you lost all of the keys to your like apartment, you can call a locksmith and it'll suck, but you can get it replaced. Versus like my previous statement about how I hate paperwork, replacing all the shit in my wallet would just be mind-numbing. Like having to replace all your credit cards aren't that bad. Like replacing your driver's license, like I don't need that in my life, you know. So like because you can cancel all your credit cards like super quick. Like the odds of you losing money that kind of way, I'm like I don't really carry any significant amount of cash, but replacing my driver's license, no thank you. I don't ever want to have to do that. And my phone would just be annoying because it's really expensive to, like even if you have insurance or whatever, like I guess depending on at this point now I can just go get a new phone because I've had this phone for like 3 years, but like I don't want to like, and I have all those pictures and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with keys because like somebody else has one. And if they don't like, then yay, new locks. So like, that's where I'm going to go with. What about you, Heather?
Yeah. That's a toss up for me between wallet and keys. I think for me, I think I'd go with keys just because I agree it sucks and it's expensive, but I could get a phone so we can call Naomi. Yes. It sucks and it's expensive. And I would be so for me, because of pets, I would be very nervous about like just not being able to get inside to feed them. But I agree that ultimately you can call a locksmith and like, they're pretty much all and I think there's such a thing as like, again, it's expensive, but there's like 24-hour locksmiths, right? Like there's always a locksmith. Yeah. Like it's a thing. It's a business. Wallet, I don't really carry a lot of stuff these days. But because here's the thing, it's mostly all digital on my phone, which is why I would not want to lose my phone, even though everything's backed up and in the cloud and whatnot. But like, that's mostly what I use, like use Apple Pay, use the you've got like your Vax card and stuff. It's all on that at this point. But in terms of a wallet, I agree, Dustin. I'm going to pretend that I have like a standard wallet that I'm using that has like all the things in it. And I agree, because of the fact that you would lose an ID, that's like so terrifying to me, because it's just so difficult and getting, like if you lose your ID, you have to like go through 16 different ways to prove that you're who you are. And then you have to like find all these things. And that's not something anyone wants to deal with.
Yeah.
Cards, I agree, like debit cards, anything like that. Pretty much anything you can use your phone and shut it off at this point, which is actually pretty amazing. But yeah, I would not want to. It's really ID. I would not want to have to deal with losing ID and replacing that. But keys would be scary. I wouldn't want to lose them, but I think that it's the one that you can kind of like most get out of.
Like easy. Yeah, totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's just like, it will suck because you're gonna have to pay, but you can call somebody to.
Yeah. Okay.
And I agree. I'm also looking at it from the perspective of like, you're a person alone. You have nobody who can help you. You have to take care of this problem on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I think we have consensus.
What was chat? I didn't see what a chat was going with. Keys, phone.
Keys, phone. So
wow.
Split.
Julia goes with phone.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Who said
cool.
that? Out of curiosity.
Julia said phone.
Julia said phone.
You'd be cool losing phone.
We're going to move on.
Everyone's got their thing that they just is not, Yeah.
We'll move on to question number 2. Send it over to Nate.
Sure. This goes for everyone. This question's for everyone. And mainly for Julia, because now I really want to know what she says for this. But would you rather have the ability to lift things with your mind, but you can't lift things over 5 pounds, or the ability to fly, but only 5 feet off the ground?
Which is how much?
Again, the question goes to everyone. I want to know everyone's opinion.
5 feet. Oh, so, okay.
I will say, and this is something I'm interested to discuss. I don't have a definite answer, but Justin and I previously have been talking about speed being a factor.
Mm-hmm.
And like lift it, like how far is it lifting stuff within the room, or could you like throw something across the street, or but yeah, sorry, the question is not directed at me.
I'll go first while Heather deals with the sirens that are tormenting her. Yeah, I mean, if you like, it's weird because I was thinking about like 5 feet is such an inconvenient amount, because if it was like, let's say it was like 10 feet, then you'd be like, great, I'll just fly over traffic, I'll fly over cars, I can like get to wherever I want to go super efficiently. But like at 5 feet, you'd be like kicking everybody in the head. Like you'd have to find like a very specific place. Like you could like, because we're in Manhattan, or like, we're like in the general city area. I guess you could like go to the water and you just like zoom down along the water and be fine. But like if it was 10 feet, like flying for sure. But then like the other part of it, like we were discussing, was like, if it's lifting things that are 5 feet, like could you do the Matrix? Like could you do the Neo, like I will stop bullets and shoot them back at you kind of thing? But I think like just like, because I could go back and forth with this like forever, I'm gonna go with flying 5 feet off the ground, because it just that to me just feels like, like I can already pick things up that are 5 pounds, and like that benefits me to some degree, but like flying feels like it'd be super cool. And as I've stated many times in my dreams of flying, I would be really good at the long jump, and I would win all of the gold medals in the long jump, because I could just go like a mile and nobody would ever catch me, and therefore I would be super famous. So I'm going with fly 5 feet off the ground.
So Naomi, you started talking about what I thought of, which was how fast you're flying. Like, what's the speed involved in flying? And I'm going to just go ahead and assume that we're talking like bird speed. Like, you could fly pretty fast. So I think I'd go with that, even though it's only 5 feet, which no is not very high. But I feel like you could still like just the ability to fly 5 feet, like to move fast. I don't know. I think I like that better than what am I going to do with lifting things with my mind? What's that going to? I don't really know.
And you're flying.
And you're flying. Exactly.
Well, I mean, Joy initially went with fly. Quickly changed her mind to no lift things. And
I'm curious to hear why.
And Julia ultimately decided to go with
lifting.
Yeah, with the argument that 5 feet is not that high, but
it's not. It's true. It's not.
You know.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I could still get around faster somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't have to get up to get the remote. Okay, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I did think. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Alexa, so you don't have to get up to get the remote. Also, depending on what you're doing, but point still stands. And Julia's pointing out that flying is pretty cool in wide open spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, right, I can't go in the middle of the street here and be like, "Hey, suckers, I'm flying among the cars." Right? No,
it would be tough.
Yeah, and an argument for flying is the Joy is, and I can confirm, is short, so she could get things off high shelves that are 5 feet tall, which would be very fun for her.
Right, cool. That checks out.
Yeah. So did everybody give their? I feel like not everybody gave their answers though. I went.
Oh yeah.
I went with fly.
So that was 2 for flying, right? You and Heather chose fly. I'll answer this question with another question, which is, how do I feel about yo-yos? Because I feel like if I was lifting
I love you.
Hold on.
What? I can't.
If I was lifting things, what I just said is a perfect summary of how my mind works, by the way, but there are no segues, nothing. Yo-yos, I'm thinking like you're doing cool tricks, things are spinning in the air, moving things around. I feel like, do I enjoy yo-yoing? Maybe not particularly, but it could be cool to do that with things that I'm lifting that are light, cool, a fun party trick. If I'm flying, people might think I'm a ghost, or I don't want to do anything to scare anyone. I see an argument for that too, but like, I do want to appreciate the art of yo-yoing. I have friends who do it professionally. I would love to kind of live life in their shoes. I could get the remote. I could get batteries to put in the remote when the remote dies. I don't know. I'm going to go with lift 5 pounds with my mind.
Okay.
I do want to point out, I like that you were like, if I could fly, people might think I'm a ghost. And that is like where you draw, like Dustin won't do paperwork, and Naomi, you do not want to be thought of as a ghost.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare people in that way.
That's very nice.
Okay, I'm gonna say chat went for lift, so this one's evenly split.
Wow.
So
fun, an even split.
Yeah, I feel like normally it goes like all one way, but that
usually, yeah.
All right, so getting to our last, would you rather?
Yes.
Would you rather be a pirate or in the Mafia? And I'm going to come to you, Heather, because your camera's already big, and it's one less button I have to push. Would you rather be in the Mafia or a pirate? And assuming pirate in the traditional sense, not like a Somali pirate now, but like pirate when pirates were like all the rage.
I think I'm going to go with pirate because I think I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about either of these two lifestyles, but from what the media has taught me, the Mafia scares the ever-living crap out of me because I feel like it's a terrifying thing and you never know who you can trust, and you never know like if you've pissed someone off and like they're going to cross you or something, and like you didn't realize it, or you disrespected somebody and then suddenly like they're going to come kill you and you don't know that. I feel like, again, this is all from like what the media has presented. I feel like pirate code seems pretty straightforward. Like don't be a dick. Don't kill your shipmates. Steer the ship. Steal the treasure. Like, that seems pretty straightforward. So I think that I don't want to hurt people, but like, if I have to do one of these two things, I think I'd go with that, in the terms of like, I would not feel as, like, I guess paranoid is the phrase I want to use, but like, I feel like pirate code would make more sense to me than mafia code. I just feel like the concept of mafia being like, you just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But maybe I'm sure there's pirate code too. And I'm sure there's someday a pirate is going to watch this and be like, you have no clue what you're talking about. Right.
Definitely. A pirate is definitely going to see this.
Yeah, 100%. Like the pirate community is watching this and they're like, you don't realize.
Yeah, people don't realize what a large percentage of our audience are seafaring. Seafaring people from 100 years ago. From 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
I don't know when pirates were pirates. I guess they were probably maybe like 4Gs. I don't know pirate rules.
Naomi, same, right?
Naomi, where are you coming in on this?
I have to go. My default answer. I couldn't be a pirate. I am scared of the ocean. It would be funny. Maybe that would be a fun sitcom or something. I don't know. A pirate who's going to be in the ocean. But which is why I'm like, I think I have to pick mafia. I wasn't always scared of the ocean. Like, I loved swimming, all that stuff. It's something that developed recently, maybe fear of unknown. And I feel like pirates, I feel like that's part of the draw of let's explore and journey and discover this space. I mean, the sea is really incredible. But I think I'd be too scared to be a successful sort of pirate. I screamed once in the American Museum of Natural History, in the Ocean Hall. So if that scared me, I certainly could not be on the ocean itself. Mafia. I am entertained also by the idea of my dad's family friend for his bar mitzvah in real life. I don't know what connections, but there were members of the mafia that were there all seated at a table together, and he has a photograph of it. And that seems like a lighthearted, also sitcom moment on the opposite side of just the mafia at this 13-year-old's welcome to manhood. Yeah, I guess that would have to be my answer, but I don't know the codes. I don't know the rules. I wouldn't be successful in either group.
I'm in agreement. I would not be either.
Okay, fair enough. I think I would probably I was torn on this one. I went back and forth a lot because on one hand, I don't really know how to swim all that well. So my definition of how I can swim is I can go as far as one breath will take me, and then I kind of have to stop and doggy paddle and then take a breath and then start swimming again. So I feel like that's a good way to die in the ocean if that's your entire ability to swim. So pirating would be very hard, but ultimately you're not supposed to fall off the boat all that often. And it feels like not that you control your own destiny if you're a pirate, because ultimately the captain's going to tell you what to do, but it feels like with the mafia, there's always somebody above you. There's always somebody who's asking you to go kill a guy, and you're I don't know who that guy was. I don't know, and I got to go beat up the owner of a deli because he didn't give you enough money and paying off a thing that you never should have gotten in the first place. So pirate seems like it's better in a lot of ways, but then there's also if you're in the mafia long enough and you become a made man, then it's so much harder to kill you, and you have a certain degree of protection that you don't have as a pirate. As a pirate, you're just kind of screwed. But ultimately, because I have to pick one, I'm going to go with mafia just because I do feel as though I would probably have more in common with the mafia guys than I would with the pirates. I feel like pirates would make fun of me pretty aggressively, and I feel like I could probably blend with mafia because I already have the coat. So Like, I already have the Italian last name. I could just start going by my middle name, Anthony. So, like, I don't think there's a version of me going up to pirates and then having them be like, yeah, this guy's one of us. So, like, in terms of that, I'm gonna go with Mafia.
I will also say it seems like for me it would be easier to adjust to that lifestyle, because when you're not doing the Mafia stuff, you're still like out and about. You could watch a movie, like go to the restaurant. Pirates, I don't know when I'm gonna be like showering and having I was gonna say playing hopscotch with friends, as if I've ever done that in my life before, but you know, it's just a different. Yeah, Mafia is my pick too.
Okay, yeah. Julia's going because Mafia has too many rules.
Julia's with me. All right, Julia, we're gonna be pirates.
Yep.
Mafia, too many rules. Yeah, we could see octopuses.
Cool. That about does it, guys. That's our last Would You Rather. I think that brings us to the end of our show. So Naomi,
it does.
Naomi, where can people see all the rockin' stuff that you're doing?
Oh my gosh. Well, for live shows, definitely we'll have some cabarets coming up soon, and shot for shot shows at Shillelagh Tavern and The Tank for digital content. My Instagram and TikTok, both with my handle at This Pit Is Bananas. YouTube, I have some exciting content that we're working on with additional podcasts and fun sketches that'll soon be online, which I'll post about on my social. So that is where you shall see more content.
Awesome. And Heather, what do you got going on?
Fun. This Saturday we're doing Shot for Shot Grease at Shillelagh. I really got to learn how to pronounce that. It's not fun that I keep doing that. But we're going to be doing Shot for Shot Grease. It should be fun. I'm playing Frankie Valli and Teen Angel, so I get to sing two pretty well-known Grease songs. It should be fun. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's at 8 o'clock at Shillelagh in Astoria.
Nice. Cool. And for me, I have another How Should I Know coming up. Actually, let's see if I can find the right buttons for this. I wanted, because we have an amazing lineup, and I wanted to share the amazing lineup of people that we have coming up for this next one. It is Justin McElwee, Dominique Salerno, and Mike Sauce are all going to be competing this Thursday. All amazingly funny people and amazingly smart people. So I'm very excited to have them on the show. So so that is this Thursday at 8 o'clock. And otherwise, I think that does it for the night, guys.
Yay, Naomi.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. You were great. And we will see you guys next Monday. Bye.
Bye, everybody.